Good day, bro. Let's do some quick maths today to start us off, eh? We spend on average 4 hours per day on our phones every single day. You can search this up, and the statistics show that we spend 4 hours per day on our phones. So let's say you live for 50 more years. You're probably gonna live more than 50 years if you're not like 50 when you're watching this, which I highly doubt. So you're probably gonna live more than 50 years, but let's just for the sake of it call it 50 years. That is 18,250 more days that you have on this planet. If every day the average time that you spend on your phone is 4 hours, that is a total of 73,000 hours that you're going to be spending just on your phone, probably not doing anything productive. And that converted is over 8 bloody years that you're going to be just wasting on your phone, probably not doing anything productive. And 4 hours per day average is very fucking generous. I mean, the kids in my generation, they spend over 9 to 12 hours every single day just scrolling and doing bullshit on their phone. So I'll help you reduce that 4 hours of pointless screen time every single day to something more reasonable, like an hour or something. I have reduced mine. Before it was like 6-8 hours per day. Now it's on average an hour, 2 hour, where the majority of it is filled with like Spotify and stuff like that. So I use my phone very intentionally. Now, there are broadly 4 levels to optimizing your phone usage and freeing yourself from distractions and all that kind of stuff. I gave these Harry Potter terminology because, why not? And the 4 levels in order are Muggle, Squib, Wizard, and Voldemort. Now, I have myself personally stopped at Wizard because Voldemort is just another level, bro. It's only for the extreme people who are really serious about this reducing screen time and phone usage thing. But I would personally recommend you go up to Wizard and stop at Wizard. But if you really want to go up to Voldemort, then you can 100% do that. So let's get into it. First, we have the Muggle. This is the lowest level, and it's basically 99% of the people. It's the average mediocre population where their phone usage isn't optimized and they just have it on normal settings and stuff. They're effectively reducing their fucking lifespan by like 8 years because they're not having any of these settings and stuff, which are really important. So you're probably a Muggle if you're watching this, maybe you're not, but we have to move past that. So that is level 1. You should not be at level 1. And let's move on to level 2, which is Squib. Now there is 3 criteria to being a Squib, and that is to turn on silent mode, turn off tap to wake and raise to wake. These are all like settings on your phone that you can change, and we'll go through them. And the third is to turn on screen time limits for certain apps, and you probably know what kind of apps I'm talking about. And that is just to remind yourself that you have spent enough time on this app, it's time to get off, So the first, turning on silent mode, it has really been useful for me in getting high quality work done and being focused because your phone isn't randomly lighting up and making notification sounds out of nowhere, and you can just focus and you're not constantly distracted and your attention divided by that phone. So that's really been useful in just banging out deep work sessions. And it's super easy to turn off and on silent mode too. One problem I did encounter, however, is that nobody could reach me, I had silent mode on, but I sometimes forgot to turn it off. So I have silent mode on my phone for like 80% of the time. I barely have it off. And it's really been useful because if you're trying to get into deep workflow states and you get a random notification sound out of nowhere, it's gonna completely pull you out of the flow state. Your attention's gonna get divided again. I have it on a very few times, only when I'm like, I know I'm not gonna be, needing to get into flow states and stuff. But otherwise, I just have it off. The second is to turn off tap to wake and raise to wake. These are 2 really annoying settings which I found, and it's on like the later iPhones where if you raise your phone, it will automatically light up, and that's super annoying. Like, I don't want my phone to automatically do that. It can seem really cool and stuff, and it's like automatic technology, but it's just annoying as fuck. You're just trying to lift your phone and not look at it, and then it lights up. You see all the notifications, and then your thoughts get occupied from all of those notifications and your focus deviates and gets pulled into those notifications. So I highly recommend you turn it off. It's really easy to do. And the tap to wake is also the same. Like, I don't really give a fuck if you tap and then it turns on. It doesn't really matter to me. I'd rather just use it very intentionally, and just have the on and off button. That is another 2 quick little settings that will really help you. Like, these may not seem much, but remember Atomic Habits, small changes, remarkable results, all of that kind of stuff. It really does work. And the third part for the Squib level is to turn on screen time limits for certain apps. And the apps, I think you know already, it is social media and games. I have for like Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff. Actually not YouTube, because I am a fucking YouTuber. I need to fucking, fish for video ideas and stuff. But for other stuff like Snapchat, Instagram, and all of that social media, I have 50-minute timers. I recommend you set that. So after 50 minutes, it will remind you that 50 minutes is up. You gotta get off the app now. And it's like a subtle reminder, because sometimes you can get pulled into the fucking endless scrolling of these apps, you know, TikToks and Instagram Reels, and you can just lose track of time and be completely pulled in, and you just can't stop scrolling, death scrolling. These screen time reminders after like 15 minutes will just wake you up and be like, oh shit, I've spent like 15 minutes just randomly scrolling, alright, I gotta get off now. And these really help. I mean, you can't just click ignore, but it just gives you that waking reminder. So for all social media apps, except for YouTube, I have 50-minute limits every single day. And for games, I have like a 30-minute limit or something. But the thing is, I basically don't have any games on my phone, because that's part of the next level, Wizard. So the Wizard is the level that I recommend that you personally go up to. Voldemort is just another extreme, because you're just gonna be looked at like a weird fellow, you know? You can have certain aspects of Voldemort sometimes, but I would say just stick to Wizard as a baseline. So there's 3 criteria for this Wizard level. The first is to keep on airplane mode 99% of the time. The second is to delete all mobile games, every single one of them. And the third is to turn off notification banners and the lock screen notifications for like 99% of the apps. Let's go through each one real quick. Keep airplane mode on most of the time. This is another one that has really served me well, because I don't like getting notifications randomly and disrupting my workflow. I rather be really intentional and like batch all the messages at one time of the day. I do it at like around 8-9 p.m. where I turn off airplane mode, get out of my like flow state deep work session of whatever I'm doing in like a 15-minute, 20-minute block. Again, you obviously need to have common fucking sense with this. If you're expecting a call from a doctor or something, obviously don't have airplane mode on, you know. But if you're trying to get really good deep work done, and you know you're not expecting anybody, and be fucking honest with this, you know, you're not some successful businessman, at least yet. So be honest with this. If you're just trying to get some work done and you really want to focus, turn on airplane mode. You can always turn it off later, and don't fall for FOMO, bro. Don't fall for the fear of missing out, because you're not going to miss out. It's always there. It's going to be there. So yeah, airplane mode. The second criteria to the Wizard level is to delete all mobile games. Before, when I used to travel, every time I was in a flight or train or something like that, I used to just pull out my phone and play whatever games there were on there, and deleting them have really helped me. Like now I don't really care much about games anymore. Like I'm not really interested in that anymore. Before I used to play a fuck ton of games all the time. Like I'm talking about like a year ago, 2 years ago. Now I don't really play any video games at all. Kind of lost interest for them. But what will happen if you delete all video games is that you'll find other alternatives to spend your time. For example, you can do productive meditation, which I talked about earlier. You can read a book or something useful like that and learn. There's so many other more productive and more useful stuff that you can do instead of playing games, you know. I guess I'm kind of not following through completely with this one, because I do have one single game that I play, and that is Clash of Clans. But come on, bro, you gotta have the largest cook base, you know? And it's not really an addictive game. It is go in sometimes and upgrade the buildings, and that's basically it. In flights and trains, you usually don't have internet. And even if you do, there's not really much you can do in Clash of Clans, because you just upgrade buildings and then you just wait, because it takes bloody years to upgrade buildings in Clash of Clans. So it's not really some game that you can play full on. Like Clash Royale, that used to be one which I played a lot. I've deleted it now. I still have my progress on my account, but I've deleted the game and I just lost interest for it now. So yeah, that is level 3, Wizard, and this is the level that I go up to. Because the next level, Voldemort, it's pretty extreme. What you can do with this Voldemort level is to take certain aspects of it and use it sometimes, and you don't have to follow through with this completely. It's completely your choice, but this is for the extreme people. Alright, I'll finish this video later because we start now. Alright, the last step, the Voldemort step. Now this is so extreme that I had to move locations and the audio quality might be a bit shit, sorry about that, but you're gonna have to deal with it. The Voldemort step is of 3 criteria. The first being to turn on a grayscale filter on your phone. So what a grayscale filter does is it basically removes all the dopamine that you get from all the different colors that are being showed to you and just replaces them in a bland black and white combination. It grayscales your phone. And this will heavily reduce the amount of dopamine that you get from your phone and will reduce the likelihood that you will just go on your phone and stay on there, because it's less pleasurable for us. Now, it gets really annoying after you've had a grayscale filter for a while, at least for me. It can also seem a bit weird when you're like showing it to your friends or whatever, but if you're really serious about this, I definitely recommend to turn on this grayscale filter. Sometimes I have it on, like in the summer holidays when I really don't want to use my phone, I have it on for like periods. But most of the time, like when I'm going to school and stuff, I don't have it on. I keep it on normal colors. I just don't use the apps. But if you do have a habit of falling into scrolling on TikToks and stuff, just try going to TikTok with this grayscale filter. It looks so bad now, and you won't even want to scroll anywhere with that filter on. Keep that on 24/7, and that is one of the 3 criteria of this Voldemort step fulfilled. The second criteria is to delete, uninstall all social media apps. This is so that the queue to go into the social media apps are blocked and destroyed, so you won't get reminded that you might want to go check your Snapchat or check Instagram and stuff. And whenever you want to use them, there is this process of re-downloading them and then going into them, logging back in, and then checking, and you have to uninstall it. And that level of friction, just that tiny bit of friction of having to re-download the app and log in and stuff again, will just put you off from wanting to use the social media apps again, which will drastically reduce how much time you're wasting on your phone. Friction is the most powerful force in the universe. I remember it being a quote, and even just a tiny bit of friction drastically removes how much you want to do the thing. And the final criteria is to remove all apps from your home screen. Well, not all of them, but 99% of them, and only keep the absolute necessary apps that you use every single day on your home screen. So it's like your calls, your messages, maybe your camera and settings, maybe not even settings. Basically the 1% of apps you use every single day, and remove everything else. Just remove them from the home screen. You will still have them in your app library or something, but every time you want to use a certain app, you have to search it up manually, or you have to scroll and find it. But even that little bit of friction really decreases the likelihood that you would use those apps. And it will just lead you to being more intentional with how you use your phone. I have like a smaller version of the same thing. So I have apps on my home screen, and it's not like only the 1%. There are a couple of apps, and I don't hide them from the pages scrolling where you have to search up each one. Instead, I just have it in folders in other pages. Kind of like a weaker version, but it still kind of does the same thing. This Voldemort step, you can either completely follow it along with the other step, or you can take bits of it and implement parts of it at times, or like a weaker version like I'm doing with the delete all apps from your home screen. Now I get how hard it is, but can these seagulls stop squawking? Now I get how hard it is to reduce the screen time. Trust me, bro, I had like 5-6 hours every single day on my phone, like not even that long ago, only like a couple of months ago in 2023. But now it's a lot less because I use some of these tips, and hopefully they help you too. Also, uploads are gonna get higher quality eventually, alright? Eventually, but they soon will, okay? I'll see you in the next one.